Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of Generally Irritable, coming to you on a Thursday morning instead of Sunday evening. Yes, it is an unusual day today. All right, let's see here, everybody. Okay, so this is a big day, big announcement, big conversation, important conversation for us to have here in Vermont, particularly those of us who are liberty-minded folks, and people who care about elections, election integrity, and preserving our democracy, as they say, or our constitutional representative republic, which maybe is a better way to say it, and the truth. Sorry, you guys, I'm getting messages. I'm not sure what this message is about. I can't read it. Okay, so per usual, go ahead and send me some comments. Hey, Sean, when the Republicans dropped the ball, Republicans didn't show up, plain and simple. That is correct, Sean. So less than 18% or less than 20% turnout in some cases. One precinct had only 11% voter turnout. Good morning, everybody. Dan, thank you for your support. I know you probably actually prefer that I'm running as a libertarian, and that's the announcement today, ladies and gentlemen. How did that happen? That's weird. I'm here this morning to share with you guys that I am not conceding the race and that I'm going to run as a libertarian. We had an independent decide that he wanted to run as a Republican. And because Republicans understand that what it's like to be marginalized, to be left out of the conversation, and to not be given a chance, our party was incredibly gracious to Liam because he gave his word that if he won the Republican nomination, that he would decline it and not run as a Republican. So in basically giving him grace that as an independent, we understand he wouldn't have a chance. So we let him, the party let him be involved in our primary, involved in our debates and things like that. And oh, hold on. I sent it to the wrong person. Hang on, guys. So we are kind-hearted, foolishly kind-hearted, and wanted to give him a chance because we understand what it's like to be marginalized and left out. And so Liam, much like most politicians, many politicians, has already pledged to break his first promise. So his first campaign promise was that if he won the primary, he would not run as a Republican. And Mr. Madden, demonstrating a lack of forethought and planning, did not realize that he was going to have to submit another petition as an independent, to run as an independent and release the Republican nomination. So now he's saying he's going to keep it. So he lied. And now that he's realized that he did not do his job correctly, that he had poor planning and poor execution, he's going to renege on his promise. And that is what you can count on him doing as Vermont's congressperson. If Liam Madden goes to Washington, he has just demonstrated for all of you what he will do. He will dishonestly get himself into a position. And then if it does not work out for him, he will just do whatever it is that he wants. So we're not going to let him do that because here in Vermont and in the Republican Party, we do not let people do this. I'm certainly not going to let him do this Mr. Madden thinks that he can make a joke and a mockery out of the Republican Party and politics and Vermonters, and I'm saying absolutely not, no way. Um, so Sean, what do we do? Where are all the Republican leaders in the party? Well, this is a great question, Sean. So I think one of the important things that people need to know is they need to hear from you. The Republican Party, your leaders in your town, in your county, and at the state need to hear from you. There is nothing that can be done now that he is the nominee, now that he has won the primary. If he does not want to decline the nomination, he does not have to. And he can run as a Republican, even though he is not a Republican. So this is another example of what we've faced here in Vermont, which is somebody who does not share our values, who does not respect the party, who has not worked for you Vermonters or anyone in the party, just coming in and saying, "Oh, I'm just going to put this banner on my name and run." So I think we say no. Veronica, we're all in this for the long haul. This is not actually a defeat. This is just a moment for reevaluation. This is a good point. This man lied to Vermonters. He was dishonest. He put himself on the ballot, and he's going to claim that it's okay because, well, he said it in public. He said it out loud. Well, and that should count. However, when we see that there was little to no voter turnout, how many of those folks actually knew that Liam Madden was actually an independent, had no desire to run as a Republican, and does not share our values? How many of the people who voted for him knew that about him? And you know, Sean, you're right. It was stupid. It was a really poor choice. And I think that this should be a lesson. Not only to the party, but it should be a lesson to Republicans around the state. The fact that I hear all of the time, as I've traveled all over the state from people, that, oh, my vote doesn't matter. Nobody pays attention. Oh, it's all just fake anyway. Why should I bother? Well, all of those people, particularly the Republicans who stayed home, this is what happens when you don't participate. So an actual independent with very progressive values who espouses Bernard Sanders as a person to look up to, you guys let him win our primary. I don't know. What are we doing here, people? What are we doing? This is absolutely crazy. Yes, please share it. Oh, Benjamin's here. You want to come in? Here we go. We got the hubs coming to the rescue.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Benjamin. So this is all very crazy, you guys. And this is a real opportunity. This is a real opportunity. And what I'm hoping is that this awakens the sleeping giant here in Vermont. So all of these folks who have been saying that they're mad, that they don't like it, this person just proved that you can manipulate the system. So this fella who says that the two-party system is broken, okay, that we need to fix the two-party system, he just proved how broken it is and that it is winnable. So all of the folks who say your vote doesn't matter and it doesn't matter, this dude was able to just lie and win a primary, okay? If that is not evidence that we can do better, if we're actually led by the Constitution, if we're actually led by a love for our neighbors and for our state and for our country, what could actually happen? If everyone who loved this country, instead of allowing a faker to take our party, oh my goodness, crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see. Okay, what do we got? He was on the Republican. Anne Marie says he was on the Republican ballot and Republicans voted for him under false Under false. Exactly. He lists himself as a veteran. I think that the fact that he is a veteran and an anti-war advocate representing veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, I think that people saw that and thought that it meant a certain thing. Like, this is somebody who is for us. This is somebody who shares our values. But it stops there. It really does. Benjamin, what have you got to say?
When I heard what he was doing, when I saw him on the news station holding basically the Republican nomination hostage, I was very upset because I remember multiple times him saying, if I win the Republican nomination, I'll, forfeit it, full stop. There were no qualifiers. Yep. There was nothing about, I'm just doing this to clear the field. He literally said I was doing it to get attention for my stuff. And everybody thought that, I mean, that it's kind of rude. It's kind of jacked up. And I literally was in a debate on his page where somebody brought that up to him and said, it seems a little like, trickery to do that to people when you don't really want their nomination. And he argued back and forth. He literally said, I'm mimicking Bernie Sanders. I'm doing exactly what he did. Him and his guy got in an argument about whether Bernie Sanders actually did this. And I read it to see how he was going to answer. This is before he won the nomination. And I said, okay, cool. I don't like it, but at least he's not going to try to do something ridiculous, only for him to turn around and do what he did. He doesn't deserve to win, because here's what I realized. An honorable person would have, you stuck by your word. That's the whole thing is wrong with politics. We think politicians don't stick by their words. When it's inconvenient to them, or when it is convenient to them to change their values or lie, that they will do that. Liam made a mistake strategically. And instead of taking the L, which is what he should have done if he was going to be integrous with his word, integrity meaning my word matching up with my action, he changed what his action is going to be to do the thing that was advantageous for Liam. So as far as I'm concerned, the integrity shot. And I don't think people like that deserve to win. So we need to continue to fight. And especially because he's talking about what, fixing the two-party system. We are already doing that. We were doing that before Liam was talking about it, because Liam hasn't been engaged in this fight at all for the last couple of years. We have.
Where have you been? Yeah, where have you been, Liam, for the last few years, fighting for conservative values, fighting for Vermonters, standing up against a tyrannical government that decided who was essential and who was not, that forcibly shuttered businesses? Where were you fighting and defending Vermonters?
That's where this is why I would say, if it was Anya or a real conservative, we would have.
And yes, and people are already asking me, hey, Erica, didn't you say that you would not run if you didn't win the primary? And what I said was, I pledged to Anya at the WCAX debate that I would not run against her. And when I spoke, and when I at the Libertarian Party nomination committee, I said, if a conservative wins, I'm not going to run as a libertarian, because my main goal above anything else is getting conservatives and moderates elected to office. People who are right of center, who can do math. Let's get them elected to office so that we can start to rein in some of this out of control spending, this out of control infringement on our constitutional rights. I want a conservative to get elected. Liam Madden is not a conservative, and I do not owe him the same pledge. So I told Anya that if she won, I would not run against her. Liam Madden does not get the same respect. He is a dishonorable. This was a dishonorable victory for him. He lied. He manipulated Republicans into seeing him as a legitimate candidate. He then didn't keep his word. The sweet irony, I think, of the fact that he says he wants to break the two-party system and how this is such a problem, and oh my God, I'm going to break it. And then immediately, as soon as it was advantageous to him, he was like, oh, I guess I'm going to just forego my morals and values, and I'm going to run as a Republican. Well, I mean, that just goes to show you how feckless he is.
Well, it means that you don't care about the banner. that you're
It
running
also,
under.
well, it also means this was a lack of poor planning. A simple call to JP Isabel at the Secretary of State's office, and he would have known that he had to submit a second petition with signatures to run as an independent. So what he has proven is that he cannot be trusted with power in Washington, because he will not do the proper research. He will not make sure that he understands the problem. He tried to execute a mission without actually figuring out what the parameters were.
Oh,
So
man.
not only does that make him a bad soldier, it would make him a bad leader.
So he did it.
And
A Marine went on a mission without doing a proper recce? Interesting.
that is a strange, that makes me curious about his military record, is all I'm saying.
Well,
And so what he did in addition to that, in the year of the woman, when Vermonters said we're the last state to send a woman to Congress, he decided that he was going to join the Republican primary and run against two actual conservative women who had been putting in the work. I started my campaign back November, December. Okay. The fact that this guy jumps in after doing nothing to take the opportunity away from two actual conservative women by lying to Republicans, by putting himself on the ballot, again, very, very dishonorable.
Yes. I think it's amazing. I think what's funny is that he's talking about he's not a Republican, doesn't care about all those different Republican values, et cetera, and boosting the party, hasn't done anything to boost the party. And yet, because of you, the party's going to get a bunch of attention because you lied and because you didn't believe in, okay, for my independents out there, my typical non-voters, he didn't believe in you guys enough. He didn't think you were smart enough to choose him by running as an independent. So because of that, he ran as a Republican, knowing full well he doesn't agree with the Republican Party.
Taking advantage of a fractured party that is struggling for its identity. I just think that that's wrong. Anne Marie said, I strongly feel he ran to take away a Republican vote. Am I wrong? You are not wrong, Anne Marie. So he told us that it was, well, I'm just a lowly independent and I just want some attention. And so we took him at his word. People took him at his word, let's say. And now he's saying that he did do it to clear the field. And so he's now saying that if the Republican Party doesn't agree to fill the ballot. So if the Republican Party agrees to not appoint a Republican, that he will decline the nomination. That was what he said. So first he said, I'll decline the nomination. Then he realized that if he declined the nomination, the Republican Party was just going to appoint someone to the ballot anyway. So then he said, oh, well, only if you agree not to appoint someone will I not run as a Republican. Well, okay. Well, again, now you're changing. So you didn't do the work and now you're changing and now you're trying to hold our nomination hostage. And then he found out. And so because of that, he said, oh, well, I did this to clear the field. I did this to clear an opponent out. And so if you're going to run somebody against me, then I'm just going to run. And it's like, okay, so wait, were you running to get attention or were you running to subvert the two-party system?
Yep.
And to disrupt the Republican Party. Again, notice he didn't run in the Democrat Party, where he more closely aligns, his values more closely align. He didn't want to run against the machine that we're already running against. He wanted to disrupt our chances of actually speaking to Vermonters and getting on the ballot.
Exactly.
So what is it, Liam?
Well,
did you do it for attention or did you do it to take away the opportunity from a couple of conservative women?
Well, here's the thing that's very funny about his logic. Well, here's the thing. It's funny. I'll applaud him on the shrewdness and viciousness of the strategy.
I mean, I can't hate.
Because I want to be clear here. This is what happened. Liam jumped into a race late that he thought he had a chance. He didn't like the candidates. He thought he'd do the most damage in the Republican Party, and he thought that conservatives were dumb enough to vote for him. It's what it is. He jumps in, does the damage as a third party, basically, as a spoiler, right? Splits the vote because Erica and Anna are going to have similar constituencies. Yep. He splits the vote that they should have been able to pull from. Liam gets that as a spoiler, then holds the Republican nomination hostage because he doesn't want someone to do the same thing to him.
Oh.
And so now, so check this out. So now, out of his fear of having to run an actual three-way race and rely on his values and his message to win, out of fear of that, this man is willing to run under a banner of something he does not agree with at all. That's hilarious.
So everyone who is right of center should be united in defying him and preventing not only him, but Becca Ballant from the Vermont congressional seat. Mm-hmm. It is outrageous. Yes. Okay, let's see. Sean says he wanted to win and he was in it for the long haul. He never had intentions. I wouldn't be surprised, mm-hmm. Sean. I would not be surprised. There are a lot of people who are really mad at the Republican leadership. And I think you guys all should say something. I really, really do. Everyone should say something. And because here's the thing, we're so nice here. Okay. I can't tell you how many members of leadership I spoke to who said, we don't want to pick sides before the primary because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We're going to play by the rules and we're going to not pick sides because leadership is not supposed to pick sides, et cetera, and so forth. Meanwhile, the Democrats don't care about that. The progressives don't care about that. They're happy to push out the likes of Kesha Ram and Shanae Chase Clifford, telling them to go get lost because it's between these two people that we've decided. And so the fact that the Republican Party, and not just the Republican Party, but the Republican constituency decided to stay out of it. Okay. The people who are active decided to stay out of it until after the primary. Their unwillingness to say who they would vote for, who they support is part of the reason this happened. When the Republican electorate is ill-informed because their leadership is not being clear and explicit, this is the kind of stuff that happens. And so, there were some people last year who pushed for an amendment to the bylaws saying that unless you share Republican values, then you can't run as a Republican. And we're now seeing why that amendment was being pushed because somebody who is not a Republican manipulated the system, got themselves elected in the primary, and now there's nothing the party can do about it. So, okay. Lambert says, thank you for sharing and speaking out about this issue. You will have my vote. Thank you. God bless all true American patriots and beyond. You are absolutely correct, sir. I'm sure. Okay. Let's see. I mean, Jerome, somebody is asking for a write-in for November. I'm sure if last option you could as well. I'm going to be on the ballot as a libertarian. I don't have to be a write-in, you guys. I received the Libertarian Party nomination and it was made official when our paperwork was submitted on August 4th. So I was going to go on the ballot as an RL, Republican/Libertarian, had I won the Republican nomination. So I'm just going to go on the ballot as a Libertarian. And we're going to actually be fighting the two-party system that Liam says that he wants to fight. So we're going to be running under the banner of a party that is liberty-minded and liberty-focused. And we're going to fight for you, Vermonters, and for the American people against this progressive takeover of our nation. Because ultimately, that Liam is much more closely aligned with the Progressive Party than he is with the Republican Party. And if you go to his website and you read his plans and his ideas, it will be very clear. So I'm running as a Libertarian. This Sunday at 7:00, I'm going to have Olga Marduk on the show. She is the Vermont Libertarian Party chair. And she's going to be helping everyone understand what it means to be a libertarian. I've already gotten some emails from some of my supporters saying, oh, I just read this about libertarianism and it sounded like communism. It was like, oh, libertarians want state control of the property and means of production. I was like, that's communism. That is not libertarianism. Libertarians are not for state control. Libertarians are against big government control. That is why I'm supported by the Libertarian Party. They are liberty-minded. I'm liberty-minded. We want people to have independence, autonomy, and things like that. So that's what we're fighting for. So if you don't really understand what it means to be a libertarian, come hang out with us on Sunday. James said, you're exactly right. The DNC has been doing this on purpose so they can screw over sincere conservative moderate candidates. They just got found out that Democrats have been giving money to Republican candidates that they think are going to lose. So they give money to candidates that they think will be easier to beat in the general election. And for anybody that has gone to Mr. Madden's contributions and expenses report on the Secretary of State, it's on the Secretary of State website, right, Benjamin?
I believe so.
So last time we looked, he had raised, I believe, $38,000. 36,000 of that came from people with the last name Madden.
Is that right? Sure, it's 36.
So I thought that's what it was.
I don't remember if it was 36. I can tell you a vast majority of the 30 or so thousand he had came from people with the last name Madden.
The majority of his funds are from people who maxed out to his campaign with the last name Madden. So while he brags that he's got more money raised than us, where did that money come from? We have now we may not have raised as much money as him, but we have actual grassroots support of Vermonters. All of our money, as far as I'm aware, at least the majority of it has come from Vermont. We've got a handful of folks who are expats, people who live in other states now who have donated here and there, but we don't have $36,000. I don't have a rich family. I am a normal working class Vermonter who is tired of the nonsense, who has real world practical experience fighting what we're dealing with in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And this, oh, Lordy, you guys. Okay, so let me see here. I am, let's see. Colette says he spoke with me twice at the Vermont Young Republicans Gala. I got creepy vibes. You guys, look, this is petty. This is absolutely petty, and I'm just going to say that right from the beginning. But at the WCAX debate last week, he showed up in cargo shorts and flip-flops. That's what he was wearing behind the podium. And I just thought to myself, this guy is not taking this seriously. Why is it that you do not feel like Vermonters deserve the best that you have? I'm not going to lie. I don't love running around in dresses and heels. I would much rather be in a hoodie and high tops any day of the week. But I want Vermonters to know that I am serious and that I am for them and that I will represent them with dignity and grace. And you don't do that by showing up to events sloppy. You certainly don't do that for Republicans. Let's see. I mean, look at the places where no Republicans ran state's attorneys. I mean, look at, oh, Lordy, Sean. Oh, you're going to get me started. I can't believe Sarah George won in Chittenden County. I am shocked, to be totally honest with you. Fish and Chimp said he better save all his documents. Sarah, yes. Yeah, we're not taking this laying down. Vermont conservatives, Vermont liberty-minded people are not going to take this laying down. James says, yes, they don't want to debate the issues. Anna says, honor, courage, and commitment is the Marine code. Liam's behavior has been dishonorable, cowardly, and instrumental.
Wow.
Rather than value-based. Not a good man. This is what I'm talking about. Both of my uncles are Vietnam veterans from the Marine Corps. And I can tell you right now that they would not be okay with this behavior. You dishonor your uniform, sir. Let's see. James says, put on social media how you feel about the leadership. Here's the thing, James. I'm mad at the leadership. I really am. I'm frustrated. But I also have said that we need to be careful about dragging each other in public.
Mm-hmm.
So I have said my piece. I have said what I think is important. And I think the rest of this conversation should be had in private or at least within the Republican Party. And it really is, you guys. So many Republicans have taken their ball and gone home and ditched the Republican Party. And this is what happens if Republicans don't feel, if the leadership doesn't feel like they have backup, like they have backing, like they have support, they're gonna end up doing stuff like this. They need to hear from us. They need to hear, you guys. Leadership starts from the bottom up. Okay, your party chairs are nobody without you. Okay, so they can do whatever they want if they don't hear from you. So if Vermonters are not participating in their own self-governance, what are these people supposed to do? They feel like they just have to go along with anything. So it is as much our responsibility as people who consider themselves conservative, liberty-minded, libertarian individuals. If we're not participating, if we're not showing up and telling them what we want, then they're going to do whatever they think is best, or whatever they think they can, I guess. Let's see. Vermont about to be a progressive guinea pig. About to be, Chris. It already is. It already is a progressive guinea pig. I mean, that's what they do, you guys. They count on conservatives and liberty-minded folks in Vermont being so disengaged and so apathetic that they can get away with anything. And they proved us right on Tuesday.
Yes.
They proved us right.
With that being said, Reddick for Congress, REDICFORCONGRESS.com. Please, guys, this is what I'm stressing right now. As Erica said, there are so many people who were not willing to donate until the primaries were over. There's so many people who were not willing to show us their support ahead of time, which gave people like Liam, the ability to do what he did. How we even won 10% more from some of those who voted for Anya. Been able to sway them maybe with some more signs or whatever we had to do to reach those additional voters. We could have forestalled this moment we're in right now. But we weren't able to. We didn't have the support that of many people who said they were going to give us the support if we won the primary. So you don't have time to waste anymore. We got 6 weeks before the mail-in ballots go out. If you plan to help us fight, you want to rebirth constitutionalism. Is that the word, constitutionalism? I don't know. You want to rebirth the Republican Party. If you want to rebirth conservatism, right? If you want to work with us by taking Liam's the hand he's offered us to rebirth conservatism, go donate, offer to volunteer. Like, this is the time. We are running out of time. We have just seen what happens
6 weeks
when people don't engage. You've seen what happens. You don't when you guys don't engage, you don't even get a conservative. You get a rando. A rando who's never done anything for the party, is not out here fighting for Vermont's values. He's not doing that. He's doing his own solar energy thing and his own whatever programs he's running. He has not been at your rallies. He has not been showing up to speak at events. He doesn't come to parades. He doesn't do the things. He's not out here with Jenna's Promise or Aspire Health. He's not doing that. Everybody who talks about, being pro-life and whatever, if that mattered to you, was Liam at Aspire? Was he at Sleeping in Heavenly Peace? Was he at these different places? No, he was not. If that stuff matters to you, if you want to see candidates who actually care about those issues, if you actually care about those issues and you want people who actually care about those issues to win, Liam wasn't doing that. We were out there. This is your time.
Go to reddickforcongress.com, donate, sign up for the newsletter, go to the Connect page, sign up for the newsletter, get connected, volunteer. You guys, unfortunately, Liam has proven that this is possible and it is feasible if we actually just work together and do something.
Yes.
So we can take it, we can be apathetic, we can prove to the rest of the country that we're a joke, or we can do something about it. Those are the options. Sit back and take it. Like a national, when I was running, nobody said that they would help Vermont. They said Vermonters, there's no point. No, they can't win there. The electorate is too disengaged. They're not going to try. They don't care about their own selves. Why would we put resources in Vermont? Is that really true? Because I'm pretty sure that the place that I grew up in, where I was taught the value of fighting for what you believe is right, standing up for your neighbors, fighting back against tyranny, courage in the face of adversity. I was taught all of those values here. Are my people that I grew up with now going to lay down and allow not only a dishonorable independent to win our congressional seat, but a progressive in Democrats' clothing who has systematically made Vermont more expensive and less safe? Are you going to say somebody who has said we're going to defund the police, somebody who says we need to tax the hell out of fossil fuels? Are you going to let one of those people be your next congressperson? Are you serious? Look, I would have happily bowed out of the race if Anya had won. If Anya won, I would have worked for her campaign and I would have helped her to spread her message, to spread our message of liberty focused values. But she didn't. An independent, a progressive leaning independent won the Republican primary.
Mm-hmm.
So today,
who doesn't trust his own independent voters, for the record.
Who does not trust his own values, and who does not trust Vermonters enough to run on his own values. Okay. Are we going to let these people speak for Vermont? Oh, for God's sake, you guys, come on. Like, really? Are we going to let these people speak for us? Go to Washington and say that they represent us. I can't imagine we're going to do that, you guys. I cannot imagine that this is going to be let to stand. Let's see. James, you should reach out to Anya. I think that's a good idea. I think we should all be working together. Let's see. Veronica says she can definitely help now that she's back here. She's helped with the grassroots movement. Veronica, shoot a message, a direct message in chat, or send me email via the Connect page. We will get you hooked up. You don't have to be a native. You don't have to be a native Vermonter. Okay. You don't have to be, but you should at least respect our values if you're going to say that you represent us.
Yep.
And if you're going to volunteer, as long as you care about liberty and you want liberty minded people, then that's what we're going to do. That's right, James. Hell no. We're not going to let these fools represent us.
Hell no. We won't go.
Yes. So here's the deal, guys. Everyone is sick of the mailers and the videos and the whole thing. So here's what we need right now. And I'm telling you this to get going and to really get going. Number one, go to the website and donate whatever you can. Donate. The maximum amount you can, individual can donate is $2,900. Okay. There are also PACs that you can donate to that can donate up to $5,000 to my campaign. I cannot coordinate with these PACs, but they exist. There are people who are friendly to us that have PACs that you could probably talk to. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that. So I take it back. I rescind what I just said. So $2,900 is the max to my campaign. ReddickForCongress.com or EricaReddick.com. There's also an address at the bottom of the website where you can mail a check if WinRed acts weird, because WinRed is weird. So feel free to just mail us a check. We need money. One of the best things that we can do is these targeted web ads, 15 to 30 second advertisement. and it's about $35 per 1,000 people. So we need you guys to donate as much as possible. Benjamin and I are going to create videos, create content that we can share as these web ads, because that's one of the ways that we overcome the massive amount of money that Becca Ballant has, PAC money that she's running with. So we're going to do web ads. We also have the phone numbers for all 493,000 registered voters in the state of Vermont. We need to be directly reaching out to these people. We need to be making phone calls and knocking on their doors. And that means I need your help, because I cannot knock on every door and call every Vermonter in the next 6 weeks. Because let's be really clear, you guys, we have 6 weeks to run a general election campaign. September 24th is when mail-in ballots go out. And you and I know that when that happens, the election is over. Okay. The people who hold on and wait till the last minute are Republicans. They're people on our team. They wait because they want to uphold the integrity of our elections. So they vote on election day. Many blue dog Democrats do the same thing. Many liberty-minded people do the same thing. However, we need the independents and moderates to be on our team, you guys. The people who either don't normally vote, don't normally participate, the disaffected Democrats who do not want, you guys, we can pick up Molly Gray voters because they do not want the radical Becca Ballant in Congress. We can pick up Molly Gray voters. We can pick up disaffected Democrats, independents, moderates. They want someone with common sense, practical, real world experience who does not think that we should bankrupt our entire country over climate change. Yes. As an example. So let's see. Chris is saying Ben is right. We don't have a minute to waste. I don't know what that acronym means, so I'm not going to read it.
You're not going to read this, just LFG. That's all we're going to say.
Okay, so you know what?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I think I get it.
Let's move expeditiously, is what he's saying.
Yes. James says a vote for Erica is a vote for you. Sue says volunteer for Erica Reddick. I donated and will give more in volunteerism. Suze, you're awesome. How are you feeling, Suze? How are you feeling? One of Vermont's best libertarian ladies got in a car accident. Do you still have a link for your the thing to help donate for medical care and stuff like that, Suze? If you do, throw it in the chat here.
Yes.
Okay, Guy Page, Erica, what's your plan? Are you still running? I came in late. Let us know what the plan is. Yes, Guy, I am running as a libertarian. I am running for Congress as a under the libertarian banner. So the Chittenden County GOP met last night, and as part of their business, they will be submitting a resolution. They will be issuing a press release that as the most vote getting Republican in Chittenden County, me, and as a candidate who has pledged to caucus with the Republican Party, the Chittenden County recognizes me as the winner of the election. I think I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but that's going to be the gist of it. Since Liam has pledged that he will not caucus with the Republican Party, that he will caucus with whoever will grant him the most ability to flex power in Washington, basically. But he said he would not caucus with the Republicans because he's not a Republican. Yes. So he's throwing out mixed messages. He's being very confusing, and it's nonsense. So I totally just lost my train of thought. So Chittenden County is issuing a press release that they are disregarding Liam and supporting me as the Republican nominee for Congress. They will also be submitting a resolution at the state party meeting this Saturday to there's nothing the party can do now that Liam is on the ballot, and he has pledged. Now he has told the party that he is keeping the nomination, because if he doesn't, he will be off the ballot. So the state party has the ability. They cannot remove him, but they can basically say a vote of no confidence, essentially, or say, you know, we're not supporting him. We're not supporting him as a candidate or with our money or anything else. So if you are a voting member of the state party, go to the Capitol Plaza this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. this Saturday. The state GOP is meeting, and this is the normal meeting where, you know, they're going to replace people on the ballot where Brooke Page was running as a placeholder. So this is where they're going to be deciding on some of that. They're also going to be the Shannon County constituent or delegates are going to be proposing this resolution. And so we really need people to stand up and fight against this, to have their voices heard, because I can't tell you how many people reached out to me yesterday. I've never even heard of Liam. Who is this guy? What happened? How could this happen? And they're very confused and upset. So Republicans across the state are angry that someone who is not a Republican just hijacked our primary. We need to show a united front against this, and take back conservatism.
We're gonna rebirth conservatism. Thanks, Liam. I like that catchphrase. We're gonna use a little bit. Should have trademarked it, boss, because I'm gonna have fun with that one. So yeah, Guy, he the technique that Liam utilized here was to slap Republicans and conservatives in the face.
Yes.
He used all the rules against us. He used our good nature, our good heartedness, willing to be able to hear him out. He's going to be an independent. He's going to give up the nomination even if he does win. We're taking him at his word when he realized it wasn't going to work out in his favor and that his strategy was going to basically remove him from the ballot. He changed his mind. There were no qualifiers before about if I did this to clear the field, which is what I'm seeing now, and that it's pointless if they don't, I'll renounce the nomination if the Republicans agree not to run anyone against me. Because he did it that way, and because he never really planned on running as an independent, he literally never even filed the paperwork. Because he did it that way with the trickery, we're not going to bow out because we don't like the way that he did that. We feel like he lied to our faces. A lot of people are very upset. And I monitor people's social media, so I see the conversations that are happening on his page. A lot of people are upset about what he did here. So we have agreed that we're going to continue the fight.
Yes.
Three-way fight. And Guy, the funny part is, as we talked about here, I'm sorry, everybody who's already heard this, Liam said that he was trying to be the disruptor, basically, and he was coming to split our vote. That's what he did. That's why he chose to run in the Republican primary, not the other primary, because he knew it could do damage to us. Well, now the whole thing he was trying to avoid because of the way he did it is exactly what he's going to get. Now he does still have to face a conservative. He thought, because he didn't realize Erica had the Libertarian nomination, didn't do his reconnaissance there, didn't realize we had another option. And so now we have he didn't take into consideration that we could run as Libertarian. So here we are, buddy. We're going to have a fun three-way race this time. Now you're going to have to beat everyone the way you should have done it originally. Your values and your concepts and your thoughts about government, you're going to have to win on your issues and the topics. And according to those debates that I saw, you're not going to be very good at that.
And so what's funny is in response to a comment asking Liam if he was going to decline the nomination, like he said, he says some stuff, oh, it's up to the party if they're going to cooperate with me. And then I would love to speak to Erica. I asked Paul to send me her number. I think we should go forward as allies. Because I'm like Bernie Sanders. Is that it? Because I'm going to let myself get steamrolled like Bernie Sanders did and let the Democrat Party run him over.
Yeah.
Son, Liam, let me just tell you, you messed with the wrong broad. Okay. If you thought you were going to come in and try to humiliate my family and that I was just going to lay down and take that and then help you, you're high. You're high, son. And I think that you underestimated the will of the Republican Party in Vermont. And it will be to your peril. It will be to your detriment.
It's okay. And a lot of people are going to have different, feelings and thoughts about this, but I'm just being honest. If you lose fair and square, it's It is what it is. Had it been Anya, as we've said many times before, Anya knew this. It would have been fine. A conservative would have won, and we would have called it a day, and we would have thrown our support behind Anya. But Anya didn't win. Liam came in last minute doing whatever Liam wanted to do, and so because of that, no, we're not going to just let that fly. After all the sacrifice that our family had to go through to run, you guys do not understand, and I'm not going to get into the details of we had a lot of other things going on at this time. Erica got into this race because there wasn't another candidate. There wasn't even a Liam at this time, as far as I'm aware. So we got into this race with an open field saying, someone has to fight for conservatism, or conservative values have to be represented in some way in this race. This is not okay. And so we jumped in there thinking we were doing that. Anya, had different opinions on that. So she got in and we're like, okay, fine. We're going to have to debate, but at least with another conservative. So for us to come in and spend our own money, and we're not by any means rich. We are nowhere near that. Okay. And just for anybody who's seen me travel and doing stuff for film or whatever, trust me, I am not rich. I am a little working filmmaker. Okay. We're just trying to make things happen here. And so for someone to jump in and just disrespect that hard work and make a mockery of our process, because this is some kind of a game or a joke to you, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And for the record, guys, we've really been trying to run a really grace-filled, loving campaign. Okay. I can become fiery at times, but we've really endeavored to do these things with grace and humility and honor. Even when we saw Liam at the debates, there was no nasty campaigning going on. Anya, there was no nasty campaigning going on. We were just running off the values and the principles. But when people start playing games like this, when people start making these sort of just subterfuge and all the sort of things that we just watched happen here, all right, we're still going to run a clean campaign. It's just going to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more direct.
Yep.
So
Guy asked, tell us again how people can volunteer, support you. So you can donate on the website, redicforcongress.com, REDIC for congress.com. You can donate there using the link. WinRed sometimes gives people problems. So there's also an address at the bottom of the page where you can mail a check. On the Connect page, you can sign up for the newsletter, enter your email address, sign up for the newsletter. You can also send us a message. Let us know how you want to help, how to get in touch with you. We can invite you to the weekly volunteer meetings so you can see what opportunities there are. And there's room for everybody, that whether you're, whether you're willing to be trained to make phone calls, we're not going to leave you hanging on your own. We're going to train you how to do it. Whether you have skills like marketing, social media management, administrative skills to help with scheduling or whatever it is, we can use all of your skills. We can use all of your skills no matter what they are. Oh, and one of my troll haters is in the chat today. I love it.
Here's the question. I want to do, because I'm really curious, because I've been chatting with Cindy in another debate. So I want to be very clear. Cindy, could you mind telling me what the difference between a libertarian and a Republican are? What the core differences of decision making in the positions where they land?
Well, I'm just curious.
I'm just curious what because she said something.
So is of trash talking people who are conservative. It is so strange to me. Like, people have asked about my experience running for office, and are people very mean? Is it hard? Because a lot of people are scared to engage for fear that people will be mean to them and call them names or whatever. And what I have shared, the reality is that I haven't had a problem with Democrats really, or the press, but I have had problems with other Republicans. I have had problems with people who call themselves conservatives, running around, being nasty, saying nasty things, lying, and really degrading the message of conservative values. So these folks who claim to care, who claim to be conservatives, who claim to be Republicans, really lack the ability to be reasonable and share the message in a way that does not alienate the very people that we need to vote for us. And so it's just really too bad. It's really sad that people are just ugly, and
Yeah.
nasty. And
Well,
and
also,
it's really unnecessary.
also the people seem to have a lack of strategy. Like you can look at someone and they can be 100% pro-Trump, as right as it's going to get in Vermont, and they'll attack us. And I'm like, okay, great, that's awesome. So vote for Liam or Becca and have fun with that.
Well, and I think
Let me know. Let me know how that's I don't know how that's a better choice for
I
you.
guess well, and this is what makes me wonder is some of these folks who claim to be on our team,
Mhm.
I actually wonder if they actually aren't. Maybe
Oh,
they are like Liam, faking, lying that they're conservatives, but their actual intention is to degrade the message by being ridiculous. And so I don't know. I can't be certain, but there are definitely a handful of folks, a handful of trolls who seem hell bent on degrading the people who actually care the most
yeah,
about spreading conservative values and
yeah.
sticking up for Vermont.
And
So it
in
just
this,
makes you wonder.
well, in this way, so this is why I like the idea of rebirthing conservatism. L's and R's have a lot of crossover. L's have a very specific way of getting where they're going. It's a very specific set of values and parameters. But
Yeah.
a lot of the endpoints, a lot of the arguments and the topics, they end in the same place. Yeah, and so a lot of people talk about things like, honesty. The funny part is, we announced the fact that we had the Libertarian nomination, and
I've been
anyway,
very
yeah,
open.
very
I've been
clear.
very clear
Olga,
all of the
we
time.
work with Olga all the time. I was
I've
at the
had her on
Libertarian
my
Party.
show.
We're the Libertarian Party in Texas when I was here. So it's like this is very we're
There's
very
no
clearly on the
there's a
right.
reason. There is a there is a reason my campaign slogan is rigorous honesty. And the reason I talk about is reestablishing accountability, transparency, and integrity to Washington. And this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Liam has demonstrated he cannot be trusted, that he is
Yes.
not accountable, transparent, or integrous. And so I have been open and honest about all of the things uh, that I have been through, all of the warts in my history in my
Yeah.
campaign, and I've been very clear that these are also the things that have brought me to conservatism and why I'm so passionate
That's the
about
testimony.
defending Vermonters.
You need a test to have a testimony.
Um and so I love doesn't have the guts to be a Republican.
Which
I love it. That is so
which I want to be, and
funny.
I want to be very clear here because we're being a
That
little
is
flippant because we
hysterical.
have to be. Because here's what happens.
That's right.
Here's what happens. There's a lot of what you guys are seeing in the thread, those sorts of comments. We get that all the time.
Yep.
Here, I want to be really clear. I don't want anyone to weep for us. We're an interracial couple. You know how many words I've been called because I'm a conservative with a white woman? You have any idea the kind of barbs and fires and attack we take? When you see some of the humor, I'd rather be humorous and laugh about things than to be angry and mean. We try not to be that way. That's the default of humanity. It's easy. This is what the Bible talks about. It is our default to fight and be angry and say mean words. We try to walk a line with a little bit of humor. Maybe it'll slide past a guard. That's what we're trying to do when we're being a little bit playful. It's not that we're not thoughtful. We're very thoughtful. Okay. So I'm going to reach out and say this with all love and grace. I would like people who, regardless of what you think about ours or Republicans or libertarians, look at your values and look at what you want Vermont to look like. Look at the things that you say matter the most to you. And I want you to look at Erica's interviews. I mean, we have years of interviews. You have years of commentary from us and from everybody that's been on our channel. And tell me where you think she lands on these topics and issues. These are not new topics or issues for us. We're very clear, outspoken, and open about where we land on all of the issues. So if we make more sense than Becca does or Liam does, that's how you vote. There's no faking here. There's no pretending, right? There's nobody else for us to be, right? So please, that's how we want you to make these decisions. It isn't because Erica's a Republican that you should vote for her, okay? Erica's been fighting and working with the Republican Party this entire time. If you guys understood how much work we've done for people who are not us, for other candidates, The whole purpose of Generally Irritable was to highlight and give alternative media an opportunity for people who are right of censor to have a chance to talk about some of these ideas and be able to get some of their words out there and get seen, because we don't have coverage in the media. So when you attack us, I don't know how that benefits you or conservatisms, Republicans or libertarians. And the Republicans and libertarians should be unified. This isn't about hijacking a ticket. Family, and I'm speaking to you guys as family, it's not about hijacking a ticket. We've been saying that our side is on the right. You have the Democrats and you have the progressives, and they are fused and working together at all times. And our side seems to always bicker with one another. We are losing because of a lack of knowledge. We have less people, we have less money, which means we have to be more organized. I'm speaking forcefully, not because I'm mad, but because I'm passionate, and this actually matters. We are so bad at working together that we are handing races to people like Liam. Do you understand that that is what is happening? So please, before you attack, before you do whatever, give us a better option. Show us what we're supposed to do. And see here, look in these comments. If you guys read the comments, I'm not going to read them out loud, but take a look. This is why you lose. You have no other options and you're still bickering. Consider that. Do better. If you care about Vermont, you care about conservative values, you care about being pro-life and all these things, do better. We love you. Do better.
Yep. Jonathan says, the fact that he was able to hijack the ticket is a symptom of the massive disarray in the Vermont GOP. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. And it's really sad. It is really disappointing. And it is the main reason, it is a reason why I've stayed engaged in the Republican Party, where a lot of people have left and said, screw this, I'm out, I don't want to participate anymore. I believe that liberty-minded candidates, liberty-minded people have the advantage over those who are not liberty-minded. If we could all just be willing to set aside our differences and work together towards a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about conservatives, liberty-minded people, is that we're all individuals. We're individually minded. We want to just be left alone, to do our thing, to live our lives quietly and in peace. And often we're liberty-minded because maybe we have different opinions than other people, or we want to live our lives differently. Maybe, I know some folks who want to live in a commune, like a nudist commune in Northeast Kingdom, and do that. I don't care. I don't care what you want to do. As long as you're not hurting other people, do that. But there's so many of us who want to just be left alone, but we want to be left alone in different ways, that people aren't willing to unify and work together toward a common goal. And instead, this is what Benjamin was just saying, instead of bickering, instead of just holding on to our differences, instead of holding on to our anger and our resentment, we can work together, unified, against a progressive takeover of the state of Vermont.
Yep.
But it actually means that you have to participate too. I cannot do it alone. I cannot do it just as a candidate. Again, it requires you guys. And so if you don't think this is okay, if you want to see something different, if you don't want record high gas prices and baby formula shortages and a federal government that is unresponsive, weak, overburdensome, cumbersome, if you want to restore accountability, transparency, and integrity to the federal government, you have one option this year in the House race, and it's Erica Reddick for Congress. So, you know, it is, you know, I appreciate people in the chat defending me. And that is a thing, right? We do need to speak for our candidates. We do need to speak for our people and defend each other. But more than anything, you guys, I want you to pray for people like Cindy. I want you to pray for the people that you've known in the party who are clearly angry, hateful, spiteful people. They are hurting. They're hurting because so many politicians that have run before have lied to you. They've lied to you about what their values are. They've lied to you about what they will stand for. They've lied to you. I promise not to do that. My campaign slogan is rigorous honesty, because 13 years ago, I discovered that that was the only way to live my life, to live it well, to live it with dignity and integrity. And that is what I promise to you as Vermont's next Congresswoman. I will always tell you the truth as I understand it. I will lead as a constitutionalist. I will read the Constitution. I will follow the Constitution. That will be the basis for my decision making. And I promise you that. Unlike Becca Ballant and Liam Madden, who have some other ideology that they follow, some other platform that they believe, some other way that, oh, well, you know, I'll do this. And oh, if it's advantageous, I'll do that. And oh, if I think it'll work, then I'll do this. I promise not to do that to you. I promise to be a constitutionalist when I go to Washington as Vermont's next Congresswoman. That will be how I make decisions. That will be how you can judge whether or not I am doing what you asked of me. And if in 2 years you see that I'm not following the Constitution, that I'm going to just do whatever is advantageous, like Mr. Madden has promised, that I'm just going to go along with whatever my party wants, whether it makes sense or is reasonable or the consequences to my constituency like Becca does. If I do that, then vote me out. But I'm pledging to you right now, I will not do that. I stand for the Constitution. I stand on the Constitution, and that is how I will lead Vermont and in Washington as Vermont's next Congresswoman. So there it is. There it is. And it doesn't matter who the haters are, you guys, because in the end, they're the ones who lose. And they're the ones who are going to have egg on their face in the end. So that's it for me today. I think we've gotten a good amount of information out. Again, Erica Reddick for Congress, reddickforcongress.com. Donate, sign up for the newsletter, share this video, share the content, go to the website, sign up to help, share the website, call the Vermont State GOP, call your local GOP, county and city, tell them that you've had enough of the takeover of the Republican Party and fight back. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you Sunday, where we're going to talk more about conservative values. Oh, and was it Christopher? We don't have bumper stickers, but I put that on a note. We've also been asked to get trucker caps. So be on the lookout for those on the website. And thank you for going to make a donation and ordering a yard sign. More to come, y'all. More to come. Have a good day. Oh, and actually, you know what? Let's close with a commercial for Benjamin and I's book, Reasons to Trust the Government. And if you know anything about us, you should know that it is satirical. So, okay, here we go.
This book will give you wings!
What kind of wings?
Not like Icarus wings, like eagle's wings!
What about dragons?
You'll have dragon's blood! You'll be able to breathe fire!
Fire like the Ultra Eagle Drago Guard!
This book will make you smarter!
Yes!
I'm not just talking honor roll smart, I'm talking Nikola Tesla time! You'll be so good looking, Brad Pitt will be jealous!
Do you want to make money?
How much money?
Elon Musk money.
That's a lot of money!
People will think you're Elon Musk, but you're not Elon Musk, but they'll think you're
Elon Musk, because you pay taxes like Elon Musk!
And you have to argue with Elizabeth Warren because she thinks you're Elon Musk. Do you want freedom?
How much freedom?
All the freedom. One to America. How much freedom do you want?
America!
Double America.